マーティンさんとリチャードさんに質問です。ビルボとトーリンの友情と絆がだんだん深まっていくところがすごく見どころだなと思ったんですけども、今回お二人はお仕事してみていかがでしたか
？It was very easy, actually, working with Richard. He is, yeah, I mean, what Pete said actually about what he brings to Thorin is partly what he brings just as a person, which is he has quiet determination. He respects himself and others, and he respects others' way of working, but he holds on to this very strong core of himself, actually. He's about the least arrogant person you could wish to meet. He's very self-deprecating, and he's always up for, I don't know, he's just up for what you're going to bring to the scene. I remember I went to the gym with him once, and there were a few of us there, and we had to do these circuits around the gym with this insane psychopath of a gym trainer, and I was busy dying about halfway round. And I nearly did pass out. I genuinely nearly it was only a sort of sports drink that stopped me from falling on the floor. And I looked up, and Richard had sort of quietly competed the entire circuit, sort of slightly breaking a sweat. And he sort of admitted that he was, he found it hard and he was finding it tired. But what I really admired about that was that he wasn't being macho and he wasn't being butch, but he just quietly got on with it. And that's kind of how he treated the 18 months of the job, really. All the trials and tribulations that inevitably come with just the day-to-day making of a film. It's tiring, you miss home, etc. He was very stoical about it, which again is a great thing for Thorin. So I think there was a good marriage of Richard and Thorin there, and I enjoyed working with him very much. I think what I always think about Richard is he is essentially a decent person, and I can sort of offer no higher praise to someone. I think he's a good human being, and I like being around them.
I always felt incredibly guilty that I didn't really socialize enough when we were working on this job, particularly with Martin, because he is one of the most entertaining people I've ever worked with. But I have to explain to you that the prosthetic is removed with alcohol, so if you consume too much alcohol the night before, the face falls off about halfway through the day, and you feel really rubbish all day, so I apologize for not coming out for a beer more often. But in terms of what I gained from Martin as an actor, there was one particular day, and it was in Bag End, it was my first day on the set, and Martin had been working with Andy for, I think, 2 weeks on the Gollum scene, and they were doing something which is called a rolling reset, and I watched Martin experimenting with a moment as a jazz musician would riff on a theme, and I remember being so impressed with it because it's actually quite a brave thing to do, because you sort of expose your process to everyone in the room. And I remember going away, and he'd sort of set the benchmark for me in the way that I would like to work for the rest of the film, and that set everything in motion, and I have such admiration for what he did on this film, and I think that character is going to live in children's hearts for a long time.
そうですね。私はですね、実際にアルコールを飲んでしまう。